number one. Karate for defense only. Eh? Rule number two. Fast learn rule number one.
Hello and welcome to the Road to Karate Kid Legends. Our look back at the beloved martial arts franchise before we experience the unlikeliest of crossovers. I'm Ashley Hobley and joining me today is Dylan Black.
Happy to be here to talk about the last one I've watched.
That's interesting.
After this week, it's uncharted territory. You know?
Today we're ending the trilogy. We're watching The Karate Kid Part 3. Which is a movie, but seems to have a crazy legacy due to Cobra Kai from what I've seen. Let's just dive into it. Please be aware we'll be freely discussing anything and everything about plot themes in any of the movie, so if you haven't watched it, come back later. With that said, let's talk about The Karate Kid Part 3.
The time has come when a student must question.
I know you don't believe in fighting, but this isn't exactly fighting, you know?
Not exactly ping pong either.
When a teacher must let go.
Miyagi always train you, but for tournament, cannot.
When a conspiracy is planned.
You said that if I beat this LaRusso kid in the All Valley tournament, that you give me 25% of your new dojo.
When a trap is set.
You know how to front sweep?
Not really. Do you know how to sweep?
Of course. Or like this. And left to side.
It's no joke.
I need your title. You don't enter, that affects my financial future, Daniel. Get it?
You think you can rely on that crane crap? Last time you weren't fighting this.
Mr. Miyagi loves you. He has faith in you.
This guy wants to break you, humiliate you, stomp you into the ground. Yes!
I'm sorry if you don't like it, but I got problems, and if you're not going to be part of the solution, don't give me a hard time about it.
Now, the man must make a choice, and the kid must become a man.
You are going to defend. You're getting in that ring.
What am I doing?
First he suffers, then he suffers some more.
First released June 30th, 1989. Directed by John G. Avildsen, written by Robert Mark Kamen, based on characters created by Robert Mark Kamen, starring Ralph Macchio, Pat Morita, Robin Lively, and Thomas Ian Griffith. Cobra Kai karate instructor John Kreese is still brooding over the feat handed to him by Daniel LaRusso and Mr. Miyagi. With his slimy partner, Terry Silver, Kreese plans an intricate payback that involves hiring a mean-spirited ringer to rob Daniel of his championship title. When Mr. Miyagi refuses to train Daniel even under threat, the boy makes the mistake of turning to Terry for guidance. Dylan, what are your thoughts on Karate Kid Part 3?
Ralph Macchio is 27 when this is filmed. Wild. It's insanity.
Still under 18s. Competing in the under 18s.
Yeah.
Meant to be at college, still in the under 18s.
So many confusion things. I think it's easily the worst of the three. I don't know, it just seems rushed. I don't know how else to. It just seems like a bunch of ideas slammed together. They want friction between Daniel and Miyagi for the first time. We've got the third love interest. They want to come back, introduce Kreese even after what happened to him in the first one, but they're not quite sure how to have him seek revenge without just grabbing a gun, I guess. I don't know. It's just a whole bunch of ideas. And the one that it's just the character of Terry Silver that's so ridiculous, I think. Just him as himself is so silly. And the fact that he looks...
This movie is about a rich millionaire wanting to fuck with a 18-year-old boy and his immigrant friend.
Yeah.
It's wacko banana. It's crazy. Joker
really weird. He's also like, this dude's supposedly a Vietnam vet, and like John Kreese actually looks older. I guess I'm not old enough for that to be a thing. Whereas this dude looks like he's 18 or 25. I guess I don't know. Like he looks like he's Ralph Macchio's actual age, 27.
Mm.
Yeah, it's just a weird movie. It's a bunch of. It just doesn't have any. And when they eventually fight, it's the fights whatever. None of it's memorable.
No, yeah, it's a lot of this I didn't remember. The only stuff I remember is all the bonsai stuff. Weirdly, like I remember he's took the tree that he shouldn't have. It got broken. That's a sad tree. But yeah, I thought it's pretty mediocre. I don't think it's bad. I think it's just woefully mediocre and forgettable, which may be worse than bad. I think the only highlight is maybe the performance of Pat Morita, who's kind of clearly very hurt by Daniel's going against him, I guess. But yeah, I think there's not a lot to like particularly about this one. Yeah, let's just dive through the plot, and we might pick up some points throughout the way. Yeah, so just reading from Wikipedia. And now broke and destitute John Kreese visits Terry Smith Silver, a fellow Green Beret who became a toxic chemical magnate. Yeah, because those are that's a clear path between those two things. Also, John Kreese just being sad, depressed at the start of this film, very amusing. Like with all the bills and nobody in the Cobra Kai dojo.
Those 10 kids were
Those
paying for
kids were like
everything.
Woof, everything.
Without them, his whole gym over.
Yep. So Silver vows to personally help him re-establish Cobra Kai while getting revenge on Daniel LaRusso and Mr. Miyagi. After sending Kreese to Tahiti for vacation. So really, Kreese is barely involved in this at all.
Yep. So he shows up right then.
Silver's like, yes, I want to fuck with this kid. Silver hires national karate champion Mike Barnes, known for his vicious personality and utter lack of sportsmanship, to challenge Daniel at the next All Valley tournament. Returning to Los Angeles from Okinawa, Daniel and Miyagi discover that the South Seas apartment complex has been sold and demolished. This leaves Miyagi unemployed and Daniel homeless. With Daniel's mother, Lucille, nursing an ill uncle back in New Jersey, Daniel moves in with Miyagi. We do get to see his mother briefly, very briefly, so that's one up from last film,
Yeah. Very much seems like a quick film this in 10 minutes.
Yes, and apparently that room that Daniel was going to spend all time fixing up so he could stay during the summer, but got derailed because they had to go to Okinawa to see Miyagi's dad. Finished. Contractors, apparently. Don't know.
Even though this movie picks up,
so much.
Last one?
Also, apparently, Mr. Miyagi's got no money anymore. Despite having a massive LA property, ton of cars, and a really beautiful house, apparently he's been living off. He desperately needed that job as a handyman at that one apartment block.
Doesn't he say he used it all for?
Yeah, he did send money to help in Okinawa, which doesn't make sense because wasn't Sato rebuilding the village? Because he's a rich dude.
Yep.
They also write out what's her name from last week as well.
Yep.
Last week's
the other girlfriend.
Yes, who took a job in Tokyo.
Yep.
That one's makes a little bit more sense. Someone was scouting at the the death fight for dancers.
Shit up as they go, I'll tell you.
Yep. Daniel uses his college fund to finance a bonsai shop for Mr. Miyagi, who gratefully makes him a partner in the business. This is a wild direction for us to take. Sure, he likes bonsai, but is there a business model for bonsai trees in LA in the 1980s? I don't think so. I don't think there was high demand for bonsai trees outside of people who watch Karate Kid. So this is wild. And they buy a big shop. It was a pretty big, that's a lot of square footage. Just for bonsai trees. They're little trees.
You got a lot of space for them.
I guess, jeez.
That's a lot of bonsai.
Yeah. Visiting a pottery store across the street, Daniel befriends the sole employee, Jessica Andrews, whose aunt owns the store. Jessica agrees to a date that same night, during which she learns she's visiting from Columbus, Ohio, where she already has a boyfriend. She and Daniel remain cordial. Very weird setup. Why wouldn't you just get a normal love interest? Because platonic relationships are a thing, I guess. While Miyagi introduces Daniel to kata training, Silva makes himself known to them both, mentioning that he and Kreese were stationed together in South Korea during the Vietnam War. Silva announces that Kreese has passed away and apologizes on his behalf. A little bit fucked up. Accompanied by Silva's goons, Dennis and Snake, Barnes harasses Daniel and Jessica. The henchmen wreck Mr. Miyagi's shop and steal his entire stock of bonsai trees. Daniel decides to dig up and sell a valuable bonsai, which Mr. Miyagi brought from Okinawa originally, in order to replace the missing trees. Abruptly, Barnes appears and forces Daniel to sign up for the tournament by trapping him and Jessica at the bottom of a cliff, while also damaging the bonsai. Daniel,
My favorite character, by the way, in this movie is actually Snake.
yeah,
Yep.
he was just
Because apparently, again, this super rich, multi-billion-million dollar dude just has like another 18-year-old on the
a couple of
payroll.
teenagers that around to do his bidding.
Yeah, around to do his bidding. Yeah.
Yeah, and he really likes turning the lights off when he comes into places.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just very silly when they, I don't know, trying to destroy the bonsai shop and just ripping up paper walls and very, dumb. But yeah, they pretty much hold him hostage until he accepts to fight in the tournament, which Daniel admittedly wanted to fight in at the start.
Changed his mind though.
He did change his minds for no apparent reason. There's a little bit of ego, of wanting to defend his title, and the idea that you only have to fight one fight and defend your title in one battle, that's pretty easy. So,
what is the rules? For only for defense. Rule number 2. See rule number 1.
Yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel accepts Silva's offer to train him for the All Valley after Mr. Miyagi refuses to do so on principle.
No, he first asked him if he could teach him how to do
how to sweep.
How to sweep. And Miyagi says, totally, I can do that.
He's out of broom. Yeah.
Yeah, best bit of the movie.
See, if Daniel had just waited a bit longer, he probably would have explained how sweeping would help him sweep.
Yeah.
He's too impatient.
He knows Miyagi doesn't teach,
in a normal
standard way. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. At the Cobra Kai dojo, Daniel is subjected to a brutal training regime, which takes a massive physical and emotional toll on him while further alienating him from Miyagi. This culminates in a now aggressive Daniel attacking a stranger who was bribed by Silva to provoke him. This whole training sequence, obviously earlier in the film, Kreese wants his knuckles to bleed. So Silva's got him fighting, practicing these moves on wooden boards and shit. Part of me giggled every single time. He's like, "Oh yeah, hit the punching bag." He's like, "Wait a second.
No. You
How
think
about we try it on this?"
Yeah, you would really think fool me once, shame on me.
But no, he keeps doing it. And then he does break all the wood. Do you reckon Silva shaved the blocks down?
Nah.
Put a massive groove in them so he could.
It's just that good.
Because one of the things was I'm going to make him think that he's invincible.
Yeah.
More powerful than he actually is,
I thought he was just doing it for torture reasons, but
maybe. No, but that last time when he actually breaks them all, he planned it so he would think he's all good. Disturbed by his own action, Daniel makes amends with Jessica as she's preparing to go home. She encourages him to patch things up with Miyagi, which he does, While lamenting over forgetting all of Miyagi's lessons, Daniel learns that the bonsai that Barnes damaged has begun to bud and heal. Yeah, because it's got strong roots.
Strong roots.
Daniel.
Like you, Daniel.
Same Daniel, son.
Hmm.
Yes. Returning to the Cobra Kai dojo, Daniel informs Silver that he's changed his mind about competing in the All Valley. Silver angrily discards his ruse and brings out Barnes to attack Daniel, whose escape is blocked by Kreese. Just then, Miyagi arrives after effortlessly defeating Barnes, Kreese, and Silver. He agrees to train Daniel for the All Valley tournament. Good times. The other thing I definitely remember is Kreese jumping out from behind his stand-in.
Yeah.
Which would be fucking wild if you imagined he died, you know?
Yeah.
If you thought he was dead and he popped out, that would be fucking scary.
Zombie motherfucker.
Please. Yeah. But yeah, then Miyagi just takes them all out. Like a boss, you know?
That's what he does.
Everybody else's karate sucks.
It's true.
It's absolutely true. At the tournament, Silver reveals his plan to re-establish Cobra Kai as a business franchise. In the final match, Silver has Barnes torture Daniel by alternately scoring points and then losing them by illegal strikes. The match ends in a draw, necessitating sudden death overtime. This was much more violent than I remember. Like, he does smashes him in the face, he kicks him in the groin, you know. I do enjoy that one moment where like Snake's like in his face and then he like Daniel like sweeps his hand and he face plants into the mat. But yeah, he takes a serious pummeling, you know. Very reminiscent of the first film.
But worse.
Yes. Severely pummeled and uncharacteristically fearful, which is true because Daniel is, throughout this entire film, unafraid of anything going wrong at any point until it goes wrong. Daniel wants to quit until Miyagi insists that Daniel's best karate is still inside him. Daniel perseveres and performs the kata, which just freaks Barnes out for some reason, thus scoring on Barnes to win the All Valley and foils Silver's revival of Cobra Kai.
He literally goes, holy shit.
He's like,
that's
what?
He's karate
doing
moves?
arm moves?
Yeah.
Oh, that remind me of my favorite bit when Silver's in fighting Miyagi. He's like, what? And Miyagi beats his ass. He's just, what? Mockingly in return. Yes, that's good.
Yeah. That was a good bit, actually. Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, then this ends with like every other Karate Kid movie so far.
Does it?
Yeah, you know, Miyagi nods and then they actually hug this time rather than, you know.
I was about to say, they you know.
Yeah, this is the last time we'll ever see these pairing together, you know. Crazy.
Yep. Crazy.
And I wonder whatever happened to that Cobra Kai, you know, all those franchisees, you know. They're getting booed. They were. It was a split crowd when he mentioned he was starting up a bunch of Cobra Kais. You know,
to teach honor and respect
and fair play.
Fair play. That's right.
Yeah.
Cobra Kai never die.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Anything else you want to mention from this film?
No, it's very forgettable.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see.
Oh, here we go.
I'm interested to watch next.
So I'm just skimming through the Wikipedia page. Of course, as we discussed, I believe last week, Robyn Lively was cast in 1988. Producers were forced to modify a role as the love interest because Lively was only 16 at the time of filming and still a minor, while Ralph Macchio was 27.
That's what I'm saying.
Although he plays a Vietnam veteran who was roughly 20 years older than Daniel, Thomas Ian Griffin is actually a few months younger than Macchio.
And I said he's probably 27 like Macchio, so that makes perfect sense.
Here's the other thing. John Kreese was initially intended to have a larger role in the film, but due to Martin Cove's filming schedule conflicts with a film called a TV show called Hard Time on Planet Earth, the character of Terry Silver was written to the script.
Okay. So I guess Subdivision would have been mostly him somehow.
Yeah.
Scheming in the background more.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let us know what you think of The Karate Kid Part 3 by letting us know on Blue Sky at explosionnetwork.com or find us on other social media at ExplosionPod. If you want to help us out here at What Do You Want to Watch, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or on Podchaser. So leave us 5 stars, and you can leave 5 stars or just tell people about the show. And if you've enjoyed this episode, thought it was worth $1, head on over to our Ko-fi page at explosionnetwork.com/support. Thank you very much for listening. Until next time, just leave the bonsai alone.